Welcome! I'm doing a contest entry today. It's the first one I've done in months. But this one, nice simple one from a chap I've just started subscribing to. And his name is Lloyd Boon. He's from Australia. And a lot of people in the VC will be familiar with Lloyd. Now, apparently he did have quite a well-known and popular channel up until I think about a year or so back. And it got hacked along with a lot of his personal details. Like his bank accounts got hacked as well. It's a really scary thing to happen. So Lloyd, a lot of love to you. I hope you're getting back on an even keel after all that. He's got a new channel. I say new, it's been going probably best part of a year, I think, as a replacement for the hacked channel that no longer exists. And he decided to run a contest just to try and get some more subs. And he's hoping he might make it to 250 subscribers. So I'm going to leave a link at the top of the video description here for Lloyd Boon's contest announcement video. He'll go through everything, what he wants you to do, but obviously you're going to hear it from me as I do it. So go over and watch that. More importantly, even if you don't enter the contest, and I think you should because it's a really nice and simple one, go and subscribe to him, help him get to 250. His contest closes on the 30th of June, so the end of this month. He'll be doing the draw the day after, and the prize is 60 Australian dollars in an Amazon voucher. But he says if he's got 250 subscribers by then, and I don't think he's too far off, he's certainly over 200 when I looked, then he will raise that prize to 100 Australian dollars. So come on, get involved. You've got to be a subscriber to Lloyd, and obviously let him know in the comments of his contest announcement video that you've entered. Simple questions, one music related and then a few other sort of more general things. Right, the first thing Lloyd wants you to do is to show a couple of albums or a couple of artists, so it can be more than two if you wish, who we feel don't get enough love and don't get enough promotion here in the vinyl community on YouTube. I could have picked a fair few artists that I'm a big fan of for this, but the two I've gone with, first of all, I'm going to show you the most recent album by Picture Plane. And his album Dopamine is his most recent studio album. It came out, what was it, late 2020 or 2021. This contains the single Avalanche, which was my favourite song of 2020, an absolute banger. Yeah, Picture Plane is probably my favourite male solo artist, to be honest. I've got all his albums, I've got a lot of his physical 7 and 12 inch singles. I think I've got them all actually. You know, very indie. No one's really heard of him when I've mentioned him very occasionally on previous videos. It's been kind of like a shrug response from the VC, really. I just love his music so much. He's an electronic artist, by the way. He does do vocals. Could you call it rap? Not really. It's more singing that he does, but you know, it's the instrumentation. You know, he's just got a real unique sound to him. I'll quickly show you this disc, actually. Obviously I showed you this when I first bought it years ago, but you won't remember probably. So yeah, lovely swirl disc there. From Denver, Colorado, or at least he was based in Denver for quite some years. I'm not sure he was born there. I think he lives in New York now. If you're into electronic music and kind of dance music, you've got to give Picture Plane a try. It's hard to describe exactly what makes him so good, but he's just got a uniqueness about him, and his aesthetic is very sort of, he riffs on kind of the occult and conspiracies and stuff, which I think is quite an interest of his. It's just all done so well. I'm probably not explaining well enough why I think he's so great, but take it from me. Go and check out Picture Plane. He's got a Bandcamp page and he's on all the major streaming platforms as well. YouTube, of course. That's Dopamine, and hopefully he'll be coming out with a new album at some point. The second artist is another one. Now, I have given these a lot of promotion in recent months because they're a group who I started collecting. I bought all their albums, I bought almost all their singles or EPs, and I went to see them in concert in London last year. Of course, I'm talking about In Strict Confidence. This is their most recent studio album, Hate to Love, and it comes with the bonus Mercy 12-inch EP as well. They have released an album, technically two albums, since this. They released Mechanical Symphonies last year, which, as you may expect with that sort of title, it's orchestral reworkings of some of their biggest and most popular numbers. And then rather more recently, very recently in fact, they reissued for the first time on vinyl their debut album Cryogenics. I showed that in a recent records roundup. Quick look at the gatefold there. But In Strict Confidence from Germany, they've been going technically in some form or fashion since the late 80s, but really I think it was 1992 they became In Strict Confidence. Took a few more years to start putting stuff out. Industrial electro is what they are. If you can imagine the sort of industrial sound of Rammstein, but without all the heavy metal guitars, and you've got more electronics. I mean, there's a little bit of guitar in certain tracks. One I'm thinking of in particular, which is my favourite song of theirs, Set Me Free, does have some guitar riffs in it, and that might be why it's my favourite, because it's probably the most like Rammstein they've ever been. But yeah, they're basically an electro band, but they've got that kind of industrial, dark, gothic kind of look, you know, very sort of in aesthetic, if nothing else, like sort of your Sisters of Mercy, your Bauhaus, acts like that. And you know, they've got a kind of Depeche Mode sound to them at times as well. Just a bit like Picture Plane, really. They've got a sound that, although it riffs on a few other genres, it's really their own. They've not really got any, what I would say, true contemporaries who sound just like them. I mean, I saw them in concert last year and loved it. Yeah, that is my second choice there. Go and listen to In Strict Confidence. I feel a bit bad that I've mentioned them again in this video when I was doing loads of ISC videos, certainly late last year, but I don't feel that bad because they're a brilliant group. I wish more people would enjoy them as much as I do. They're now one of my very favourite bands. Alright then, so a few other questions that Lloyd asks. I don't know if I'm going to get these in the exact right order, but I don't suppose Lloyd will mind. The next question is, he asks, what is your favourite food? Me? A food fanatic? Surely not. Some of my particular favourite dishes, unlike Nick's Vinyl Butty, who, while he kind of gives the impression of a sort of diminutive tough guy, he must be a bit of a wimp in reality, because he made a point of saying how he can't stand hot curries when he did his contest entry. Well, Nick, you're looking at a hot curry fanatic here. Chicken or lamb madras is my favourite meal. I have that pretty much every Saturday, proper Indian restaurant slash takeaway stuff. I've made it before and I've done a pretty good job, but nothing beats the authentic restaurant experience, really. Madras curry with pilau rice, naan bread, that is my favourite meal, really. I did do a series on my channel. It was a 2-part series, but I filmed it over 7 days. This was nearly 4 years ago now, where I ate curry, takeaway curry, every day for a week. Spoiler alert, I didn't get fed up with it. That's how much I love curry, especially a hot curry as well. If I get a madras and it doesn't have a real kick to it like I expect, I'm quite disappointed. You know, I want that kind of after effect, if you know what I mean. But anyway, that's probably me being weird. Other meal I like, I do love a full English breakfast. Nice fry up. Some of my favourite foods there. I could go on and on, really. Lloyd then asks, what do you do for a living? Well, I don't work. I'm off work due to ill health. Mainly mental health issues, really. I won't go into the whys and wherefores, but yeah, I've been off work for quite some years now. Hence why I'm able to dedicate a lot of time to my channel. If anything, I consider my YouTube channel my full-time job, because I work as hard on that as a lot of people work at their jobs. You know, I just don't get kind of much, if any, monetary compensation, but that's not why I do it. I do it for the love of creating, and just because I like making content so much. Technically my area of work is writing. I've been a journalist and a writer for websites in the past. It's still something that I kind of like to keep my hand in, but I kind of do it for minor stuff, you know, fanzines and smaller websites and things where I don't get paid. It is a job that you can work from home easily, obviously, but just with my situation, I'd rather not focus too much on the writing, because there'll be less time for YouTube and video making. So the balance I've struck now suits me well. But I was a journalist and a writer for a good few years, last question, I think, from Lloyd is, do you play a musical instrument? Well, short answer, no. I had kind of very basic keyboard skills when I was younger. I'd kind of learnt a few chords and learnt certain easy to play songs. I remember one song I used to play quite well, funnily enough, because I think it was a bit of a slow piece anyway, was Largo, you know, the old Hovis Bread ad theme. I used to do a fairly good rendition of that on the keyboard, but I never really progressed any further. I remember buying a guitar, cheap, second-hand one, when I was a teenager, and I just couldn't stick with it. It was just like learning the chords and where to put your fingers. I wish I'd stuck with it, because I'd like to have had that skill really, certainly in later life, but oh well. So yeah, although I've kind of dabbled, I can't say yeah I can play musical instruments. Right, I've looked at what time we're on and I've really banged on and on here. I've got a feeling I'm probably going to be the longest contest entry here, so apologies for that, Lloyd. But please go and check out Lloyd Boon's channel, and specifically his contest announcement video. Go and give him a sub, help him get to 250 and beyond. Seems a really nice chap. I've subscribed to Lloyd, of course, and I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of his content in due course. But thank you all for watching this. Special thanks to my patrons and subscribers. I'm going to go now, and please will you join me again next time, whenever that might be, for my next Vinyl Community Contest entry video. Cheers, everyone. See ya!